right, thank you very much, Annette Porter. All right, the coffee session, as is usual, has just begun, and with me is my colleague Heidi Jokos, who joins me here at the airport. Good morning, Heidi. So you are following this story very closely. I'm actually going to start with the business day, which is also leading with the cancellation of flights here by SAA. The main headline, they're saying SAA tells strikers no work, no pay. That's as the airline cancels all domestic, regional and international flights scheduled for today and tomorrow. Have you had any updates as to the negotiations between government and the unions, or is there nothing happening at all?
Well, the only update is from last night, where the unions came out to brief the media. It was Numsa and the South African Cabin Crew Association, where they informed the media and the public that they have come to a deadlock with the airline, and they will not, the strike is going to carry on. They have not come to any kind of agreement. So I'm sure the strike has just started, because they were saying that the first shift is going to start at around 4 a.m. and that's when most workers were supposed to clock in for work this morning. So it's going on, and I think the panic has already begun. If you just look behind me, there is a massive queue of people, because passengers have been left stranded because of the strike, because of the cancellation of both flights on Saturday, on Friday and Saturday, today and tomorrow by SAA. So about 104 flights have been cancelled.
But what does it tell us about what the airline has done, or the efforts that the airline has gone through in terms of notifying its passengers who had booked tickets for today and tomorrow, notifying them on time? If people are queuing up, that means that the message didn't go through.
So the perception is that because SAA cancelled flights, it's on them to try and make an alternative arrangement and plan for the passengers. And this is something that we put to SAA last night when we interviewed them at about 7 last night. We said, tomorrow morning there is going to be a rush, there's going to be panic and pandemonium with these passengers. Have you made alternative arrangements? Have you informed everybody that needs to be informed? And the word we got was, we've done the best we can, and we have people on the ground today, this morning, to let them know should they arrive at the airport. From what I can see behind me, I don't think people were notified, because the queue is extremely long and passengers need to find a way to get to their various destinations. SAA has cancelled flights regionally, domestically and internationally. So that's a lot of flights we're talking about.
Heidi, very interesting comments coming from Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan, who was part of Team SA in New York, trying to encourage investment there. And the words from him, and I quote, which are carried in the Business News website Fin24, that SAA is not too big to fail. What does that tell us?
That is a very strong message, and I think that goes hand in hand with what we've been hearing from Finance Minister Tito Mboweni. In both this medium-term budget and in the budgets in February of this year, Tito Mboweni has time and time again made it very clear that SAA is not sustainable. Government cannot keep bailing out the airline. The airline hasn't made profits since 2011. That's about 10 years that the airline has struggled to make any kind of profits. They're constantly needing bailouts. And interesting, SAA board told Scope in Parliament just a few days ago that if this strike goes ahead, it's going to cost the airline 52 million per day. That is money they do not even have to lose. So the fact that the Public Enterprises Minister is making remarks of SAA is not too big to fail, does that actually mean they're okay with it failing? So that is something we're definitely going to have to pose to the Minister and to SAA.
I tell you, Heidi, the unions, I wonder how that statement is going to land with the unions. Very, very important. And we're also going to be speaking to the CFO of SAA. That's in this hour. But thank you very much, Heidi Jokos, for joining me for that coffee chat. And I suspect you're going to be keeping a keen eye on what is happening in and around this airport with regards to the SAA passengers. All right, so let's go to one of our colleagues. Members of Numsa and the South African Cabin Crew Association are expected to gather outside Airways Park as the strike begins today. SAA has cancelled numerous flights, as we've been telling you, and ENCA's Moloko Moloto is at Airways Park. Moloko, good morning to you. What's the situation there? Is that the point where the union members are gathered this morning?
Good morning, Olim Gambi. Yes, a very chilly morning outside Airways Park, the offices of South African Airways, and as you can see behind me, just a few number of workers have already gathered waving placards, some of them reading like the cabin crew members have been in a junk status for a long time, others calling for the scrapping of the all the boards of directors of SOEs, and of course many of them coming from the Numsa union as one of the unions represented here, others coming from the South African Cabin Crew Members Association. And they have been here since we got here about 45 minutes ago. They've been here, but let me bring into this conversation the Deputy President of the South African Cabin Crew Members Association, Advocate Christopher Shabangu. Christopher, thank you so much. I mean, how do you plan to go ahead? This is just the beginning. How long are you expecting to sustain this as the day progresses and as the days and weeks come?
Good morning, Muloko, and good morning to your viewers. The strike is indefinite. It's going to go until our demands are met. We're going to sustain this as long as possible. Basically, that's how far we're willing to take this.
And do you have any contingency plans, particularly for the workers? Because we understand this is going to be based on the principle of no work, no pay.
Look, there is no, I'm assuming when you say contingency plan, are they going to be paid anything? No. It's a sacrifice that we have to make. I think that's a very important question. What needs to be understood is that these people have got families, they've got bills to pay, but they have taken this stance that they're gonna, they're gonna go on a strike to fight for a principle that they believe in. So we understand the sacrifice that we have to make, all of us, so that we can get to where we need to go to. It is important that it is understood that we don't want to be here. We don't want to be striking. If it were according to us, we don't want to be here. Or rather, we would have,
Yeah, you say you don't want to be striking, but the airline has already said that this strike actually has the potential to collapse the company. And should it go there, all of you are going to lose your jobs, and the struggle will be even more serious.
That statement is a diagnosis of our management and our board. So we have been informed that the airline is going to lose about 50 million a day, which is 100 million for the 2 days that they've cancelled flights. And we're only asking for 49 million for all the workers. This is going to cost the airline 49 million, but they're willing to lose 100 million reputation, lose our customers, just because they don't want to talk, they don't want to negotiate. It tells you that we do not have leadership at South African Airways. We do not have the people that can really run this airline. So no, if we don't want to see this go down. Our strike today is in our belief, is that we're trying to keep this airline alive. It might be seen negatively to them. They might be giving us that. For example, they have issued us with a 189 through the media, of course, in trying to threaten the workers. So they will do anything, they will say anything to try and intimidate the workers. Yeah.
All right, Advocate Chris, thank you so much. That's all we have time for. But of course, Oli, we are going to spend the rest of the day here. We will continue to engage these workers as the day progresses. Back to you.